Again, this is a very direct question. What is the difference between centralized and decentralized planning? Centralized and decentralized. So you will again write what is, say, planning. Okay, it is of two types: centralized, what it is, and decentralized, what it is. So what do you mean by centralized planning? It's planning that takes place in the top, okay, by an institutional machinery, and then it goes from top down, okay, trickle down effect, centralized planning, or it's also called as macro level planning. Okay, so the planning is usually done for the entire nation as a whole, right? So that is what is your centralized planning. Then what is the decentralized planning? Decentralized planning, planning that takes place at the regional or local level. Okay, and usually what happens is with in decentralized planning, okay, so it is a grassroots level planning. So you will write grassroots level planning, okay, and then you will put a box in your statement when you are writing, so it look nice when you are able to write. These are the things, small things. You might get just 1/4 mark with that, okay, but it adds up, and then at the end you will get 1 or 2 marks extra in your question. Okay, so that is your definition wise. Okay, then you will come to the merit. Maybe you can write in the in a column like this. Okay, so you will write centralized, and then you will write decentralized, then you will write merit in the side, and then you will write what are the merits for each. You can write like this, or separately you can write decentralized planning, merit, and demerit, and then you can write. Okay, so what are the merits of centralized? So because it is controlled at the single level, right, it's at the administrative control is very easy. Usually if you take for example, you should write, okay, example, planning commission in India, and then later replaced by Niti Aayog, like that. Mainly planning commission, because Niti Aayog is per se not the planning body, it's a think tank kind of a thing. So planning commission, for example, was a body which used to plan for the entire country, which would understand, do study for understanding the resource available, and then therefore implement them at the have a broad objective and ensure that these resources are utilized to achieve these objectives, right? And then you will write the merit. So these are cost effective because there is economy of scale. Then there is a better command because everything is monitored from the central level. Then there is uniformity throughout the country. Then there is proper coordination between various institutions, federal institutions, line departments, and all. There will be good coordination. There is a more focused vision, control over the resources, because all the resources will be controlled by the central body. The resources will be allocated whereby the maximum benefit will come out of these resources. Therefore, welfare of the nation will get maximum. Like that, you will be writing the merits of it. What are the demerits? India is a diverse country. So in this diverse country, you will not be able to have one unified planning. People's participation requires them for planning. Better implementation if planned from the grassroots level. Okay, when people are involved in planning, there is stakeholder mentality, like that. So when you write these words like stakeholder, you should underline that. Okay, so those are the keywords: stakeholder mentality, better participation of the people. It is essential for establishing a democratic grassroots level democracy, things like that. Okay, so a more efficient utilization of resources if it is planned at the local level. Okay, they'll do jugaad, na? So whatever is available they will use and plan and then implement it. So better utilization of resources, etc. Then decentralized, same thing. Whatever was the demerits of this one becomes the merit of that. Whatever is the merit of this becomes the demerit of that. Little bit change here and there. This is what is your answer. But how do you make it better? How do you get that 1 or 2 marks extra? How do you get it? One is presenting it well, okay, underlying the keywords, writing it in capital, whichever you feel is very catchy words like grassroots democracy, or what is that, trickle down feature, like that. When those words are there, trickle down effect, or people's participation, these terms will be there. No, you highlight it. Even when you read the books, now we highlight those words, or we bold it, or italics it, or underline it. Why? So that when you are reading it, your attention will go to that. Same way, the examiner's attention to go for that. So that will give you that extra mark. Then draw a diagram wherever, or flow chart wherever possible. So if you see the answer key, if you have seen, there is a diagram. So like that. So you will say, this is centralized planning. What is decentralized planning? There is a diagram like this. right? So that is decentralized planning. So you will write like this diagram. So nobody else would have written. You would have thought something innovative and written. So this will fetch you that additional 1 mark. They'll be like, ah, okay, this is different. Okay, this person deserves that extra 1 mark. So you have to, fight your way to get that 1 mark extra. So 1 mark in each question into 21. How much is it? 21 marks extra. Now you would be getting around 60 to 80 or whatever in that range. Now add 20 marks to it. So you'll get 100. With little bit practice and on this one, around 120 easily you will be able to get 120, 130, whatever average I'm talking about. Maybe if you take KPSC, they usually give around 140 you can get. Okay, so around that range you can get. Okay, fine. Next question. Planning has played a key role in socio-economic transformation, okay, of India post independent. Comment question. So in comment question, what you are expected to write? You have to write both sides, okay, both sides, that is positive and negative, and give your opinion. In this case, it is the future outlook, okay, of planning. What the planning should look according to you. Matlab, you will write what role planning has played, okay, in transforming India in a positive manner, and what are the shortcomings. No negative per se, okay, shortcoming. Matlab, what they failed to achieve, what they have achieved, and what they have failed to achieve. This is what you are expected to write in your answer. Correct? No, so this is what is planning has played a key role in socio-economic transformation. So socio as well as economic. Don't just focus on economic, social aspect. That means talk about poverty, talk about health, talk about education, how planning has changed all of this. Economy, may you write how agriculture has benefited, how industries have benefited, etc. Okay, so here, it's quite a, what do you say, a big question. So you first start with your context. Okay, so you start with your context. Okay, so either you can simply define what is a planning, but here you can give a context. Okay, context is what, how India was at the time of independence. At the time of independence, that means how our social indicators were and what were the economic indicators. That can be the introduction. So don't just simply start off by planning. Okay, planning, that becomes very routine. When it is a direct question, you can start off with the definition and all. Here there is a concept that you need to explain. So it is better that you can start off by giving the context. Okay, so how it was before independence and how, so that one or 2 to 3 lines you can give about this one. So Britishers, when they left, they destroyed our industries, our agricultural system was in shambles, etc. You will write like that. You will start your answer like that, and then also your social indicators. So India was having large number of people under poverty, education was like this, etc. You can write that is also you can write, or you can write the context as planning in India, how it started, okay, after independence. That is in 1950s we started with our planning commission and all that. You can start with that also. So whatever is the context you would want to choose, you can do so. So start with the context over here. Okay, 2-3 lines, that's all, not more than that. And then you can start off by saying that how it has benefited. Planning has played a key role in transforming India socially and economically. So how has planning changed this? Okay, so changing in, like, it has increased the rate of growth. Okay, created infrastructure. You can give examples. In the first plan, this was done. Agriculture was given importance. In the second plan, infrastructure. In Mahalanobis approach was done, and then Nehru Mahalanobis approach gave impetus towards capital growth. I mean, capital investment in industries and all those things you will be writing. So in industrial growth, how it benefited, gave us a capital base by which other industries developed around it. Agriculture sector, may you can write about the green revolution that was implemented in the planned process. You can also write about other initiatives like white revolution and other things. These are all were part of the planning process. So India was dependent on ship to mouth, what we call. You write that word ship to mouth and you then underline that word. So we were dependent on imports for our basic food also. So we were importing food. But green revolution, which was planned in our 5-year planning, and we now are not just self-sufficient, we are also exporting country, right? Rice and other things, we are exporting. Similarly, with respect to milk, so milk, we are very comfortable. We are one of the largest producers of milk. All this was done by what? By our planning process. Social, then when you come to social planning, so social sectors were given a lot of importance in our planning right from the first plan itself. Community development programs, CDP came into picture. Under community development programs, various social infrastructures were built. Compare the data how it was in the initial phases. Education was around 40%, let's say. Now it is around 70 to 80%. You don't have to remember the exact data also, it's fine. So it was around 40%, 30 to 40%, let's say, education. Through planning, developing various education schemes and policies, service section and other things which were through planning, education has been increased. Things like that you should be able to write. Okay, so increase per capita, capital formation, development of agriculture, infrastructure, right? Okay, self-reliance, all these was achieved through this. Okay, probably you can write two broad headings: social impact, okay, and economic impact. Social impact you will write about the education, health and other things. Okay, next is your economic challenges. Okay, because it is comment this one. So you will also write about the failures of planning was not that we suddenly became developed country. No, we are still a developing country. Growth rate was very low, even though we were able to bring about industrial development, etc. Hindu rate of growth, like that you will write Hindu rate of growth and you will underline that word or box that word. Inadequate growth rate, private sectors were not allowed to participate because this was planning was mainly socialistic model of economy. Therefore, there was no competition, resource efficiency was not there, economic inequalities and social injustice still prevailed, communal violence and other things, unemployment, regional imbalance, inflation. All these things are the shortcomings, and some data you will throw in to understand the gravity of that situation. And then finally you will write your opinion with respect to how this has now been replaced with a Niti Aayog, and how planning is now participatory and federal in nature, and we are trying to achieve doubling of farm income, and we are trying to make India export capital of the world, and like things like that you can write. Okay, take some points from the recent current events. Okay, what about that strategy for new India, Niti Aayog set 75, and write those points from there and what we are planning to achieve. Okay, so conclusion probably you can stress more on the Niti Aayog. In the body part of it, you stress more on the planning commission, its performance and its weakness, and how Niti Aayog can be used to promote more socio-economic transformation. Next phase, that's what you can write. Is that okay, guys? Okay, so this is about the planning. Okay, this is about the socio-economic transformation. Socio-economic transformation through planning.